This is the sound of the RODE NT1 without any processing at all. There is no processing at all. You are just hearing the microphone and my rather acoustically questionable room. This is the RODE NT1. This is the RODE NT1 with very heavy processing. There's a lot of processing. I'm not even sure I know what all I've got going on. There's something to mitigate against plosives, mouth clicks, room noise, room echo, and there's even a little bit of EQ. I will say that this microphone doesn't really need EQ, so if you don't want to, you don't have to. But if you want to hear a slightly different sound, EQ is a good way to go. So this gives you some sense of what's possible. It's a sound that I like. I don't use it all the time. So, not every microphone is very good at accepting processing. Some microphones really fall apart when you process them heavily. I'm using this processing in particular to show that the NT1 5th generation can handle processing just fine. I'm still using it in USB mode. This is the RODE NT1 5th generation with third-party processing. This is what it looks like when you go into the settings. This is the Connect app. This is what it looks like when you go into the settings of the Connect app, and you can choose to turn on or off various effects. So right now, I don't have any effects on. We're going to activate compression. I usually don't like using compression, so I'm actually going to take this compression off. I find it maybe a little bit aggressive at times, but as you can see, you can change the settings. And we'll go to the exciter. This is actually the exciter and big bottom, so you can enhance the high end and top end, and you get a little bit of control over how you do that. So that's nice. And then the noise gate. Again, the noise gate can be a little bit aggressive. It's a good idea to use a noise gate if you're in a noisy environment. The last demo I did, I had a lot of noise going on in the background, and even though I had some noise suppression in the processing, noise suppression doesn't always get the job done, and maybe noise removal plus a noise gate is what you need for really noisy environments. But all too often, you do need to change that around and just adjust some of the settings so that it doesn't clip you off unnaturally or have other unintended consequences. So this is an example of what it sounds like when you're just using the signal processing that RODE gives you and no third-party signal processes. So, is the 5th generation NT1 a good USB microphone? Yes and no. The yes part is pretty easy. It sounds great. It's easy to use. It's got 32-bit float. These are wins every time. And at $249, yes, you're paying the price for a professional microphone, but you're getting it in a USB package. It's well worth it. So yes, it's a great microphone, and you will not be disappointed. However, the answer is also no. The NT1 5th generation is not a pure USB microphone. It's a hybrid mic, and it's an XLR mic first. You can see that in the body shape. And by shape, I mean the fact that it's smooth all the way around. There are no buttons, there are no holes, there are no switches or levers. This is a professional studio cardioid condenser through and through. USB microphones tend to look a little differently. This is a USB microphone that Rode makes. This is the NT USB Plus. It's an excellent microphone. You'll notice it has a couple of protuberances and a hole. It's a very good mic. Later, we'll compare the two microphones. I don't expect there will be a huge difference in quality. A USB microphone has more affordances because it's not connected to an interface. An audio interface usually provides a good headphone amp, gain knob, monitor mix options, lots of different things, a mute switch. USB mics don't go through interfaces. And so if you want those things conveniently, you have to put those things on the microphone. But as I said, this microphone doesn't have any of that. And that's why it's not such a good USB microphone. You don't have the affordances of it being connected to an audio interface, and you don't have a faux audio interface on the microphone. So everything that you want to do with this microphone when connected via USB has to be done in software. And it simply isn't as convenient in software as it is with a hardware knob. Now, I can make excuses for why Rode decided to leave those affordances off of this microphone, and they would be good ones. They're probably correct. And I personally don't mind. That said, it can be annoying if you really want to do some zero latency monitoring. You can't do it. If you really want to adjust your gain while you're recording, you can't do it easily. So these are the sorts of things that you can do with any other microphone that's connected to an audio interface, or most other good USB microphones, because they have those switches on the microphone. So you will have to decide whether the excellent sound quality in the 32-bit float is worth not having those other affordances. Is that a good trade-off? I don't know. The answer is going to be different for everyone. The trade-off works for me, but I will be looking forward to the 6th generation, where Rode might just add a few of those things onto that microphone. There's a very good chance that I would spring for it if they did. Until then, I still believe that if you're looking for a USB microphone in particular, but you are looking to get studio quality audio, this is still the right purchase for you. This has been David with Good Enough Gear. Bye-bye.